The average executive loses about 11% of their strength progress after just 3 weeks of traveling, but it doesn't have to be that way. One of our clients, who's a managing director of a global team named Jude, was actually able to not only maintain his strength, but increase his strength and muscle mass during a 6-week travel sprint. The reality is, if you travel consistently, you can think about it in one of two ways. Either you can think, well, this is a travel week, so everything's out the window, I can't do anything about it. Or you can think, this is a travel week, what are the things under my control that I can do so I can at least maintain, if not progress? If you found yourself in a cycle of thinking the first way, the good news is you can change that, because ultimately what will happen is there's a compounding effect of multiple restarts. If you keep having to restart the same journey over and over and over every other week, it's going to be very hard to make any sort of noticeable change. However, if you can view it as, I'm going to make some progress when I'm at home, and then when I'm on the road, I can at least maintain that progress, then next week when you're back at home, you can now build off of the progress that you already made rather than having to start from square one again. In this video, you're going to get my exact travel protocols that I give to all of our clients that have helped them stay lean and strong and actually build muscle while traveling consistently. So this video is going to have 3 sections. You're going to start off with the challenges that come up with travel. Then we're going to go into a protocol. Then we're going to go into the different protocol options. And then finally, we'll go through an implementation framework of tactics you can actually start to do today. So let's start off with the challenges of travel. There's 2 folds. There's number 1, which is the actual physical challenges. There's number 2, which is the mindsets. So with the actual physical challenges, with constant travel, we have typically increases in cortisol, spikes of stress, right? Decreased sleep, typically because of time zone changes and whatnot. Lots of time sitting, especially spending long hours in planes or waiting for delayed flights. And finally, muscle protein synthesis disruption, where we actually start to lose muscle mass, which then brings our metabolism down, makes us feel worse, carry more body fat. You get the drill. Let's talk about the mindset pieces. So when it comes to mindset with traveling, something I've found for myself that was very effective was to think more in like an 80-20, because I used to think I had to be perfect, I had to stay locked in, I had to hit every workout, get my macros to a T, whatever. And that only worked so well until things came up that were outside of my control. Flights get booked last minute, things change, projects change, whatever it is that happens that was throwing me off track, I used to just get completely thrown to the floor and would just stop doing anything health and fitness wise. So what I shifted to was more of an 80-20 approach, where 80% of the time I'm pretty locked in and I'm dialed in, but then 20% of the time is room for error. And it's just, when you're in this type of lifestyle, I felt for me, I had to have that room for error, because there would be things that would come up that just were out of my control. So once I dialed in my mindset and realized all of the negative effects of doing nothing or not properly taking care of my body during travel, I realized that I needed a system that would actually work. So let's go through the actual protocols of what we need to focus on to maintain and maximize muscle growth while traveling. When it comes to actually doing this, there's really just 2 things we need to focus on. Number 1 is nutrition, number 2 is training. So with nutrition, we need the right ratio of macronutrients, which is proteins, fats, and carbs. Typically, you want to shift your diet to be a little bit higher in protein, because that's going to help with building and maintaining muscle tissue. And then bring your fats down a little bit. There's nothing wrong with eating a diet with fats. Obviously, we need them to survive, but typically most people eat too high of a fat diet, and so that actually leads to more inflammation. So as you bring your fats down a little bit, skew your proteins a little bit higher, you'll notice your body composition start to change in the right direction. And then of course, with carbohydrates, we actually want to utilize those very effectively. I hate keto and all the diets that tell you, low carb, don't eat carbs. Like, carbs are actually a phenomenal fuel source, and when you use them properly, they can be actually really powerful in building muscle. Now, the second piece is training, actually working out. So when we're traveling, we want to have a game plan for the travel. We want to have a game plan for when we're at home. So at home, typically easier, probably, if you have access to an apartment gym or a regular gym or anything like that, just have your workouts for that at like a regular gym, right? When you're on the road though, you want to have hotel workouts on hand. If you don't have access to a hotel, you want to have some sort of like resistance band training, or even as a backup, just body weight workouts you can do in your room. So once we have workouts set up for every scenario you might find yourself in, then it becomes hard to have the excuse of like, well, I don't have access to a gym, or I don't have my resistance bands today. It's like, as long as you can always do something in whatever scenario you find yourself in, that's what's going to lead to lasting consistency. All right, finally, let's get into the implementation framework of exactly what you can start doing today to start taking control of your health and fitness, maintaining the level of muscle mass you need on your body while traveling and actually boosting your metabolism long term. So there's a couple things to focus on. Number one is with nutrition, again, getting in a higher protein diet. I have a video going over airport nutrition. I have a video going over hotels, corner store stock up, like grocery stores. So you can check out all those videos to go over all the different food options you can use to start getting the right ratio of macronutrients. The second thing that you want to do is, like I said earlier, have a plan built out for the different scenarios that you're going to find yourself in. You'll also see some videos I'll put out giving you different ideas of what you can do there. You can also check my Instagram out for like, quick videos of like, hey, do this workout, or here's a good exercise you can do, that type of stuff. But what you want is a very clear plan, right? If you fail to plan ahead, then you plan to fail. So make sure that you have a very crystal clear plan for all the different scenarios you find yourself in, so that there is no excuse. You literally are like, cool, I know exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna show up, I'm gonna execute. And then the final thing is to really make sure that you optimize your sleep. Make sure you're getting enough sleep so you can actually repair muscle tissue and build more. The benefit of having more muscle mass on your body is, no, we're not trying to be like Arnold Schwarzenegger and get huge. The benefit is actually it'll raise your metabolism over time, because a pound of muscle takes a lot more energy for your body to maintain than a pound of fat. So the more pounds of muscle you have on your body, the higher your metabolism will be, meaning the more calories you can eat and the faster you'll lose body fat. Once you dial this in, your body will start to change and you'll start to see results like my client Tony, or Jude, or Stephanie, or Chuck. And the benefit here, as you can see with all of them, is they've started to replace their body fat with muscle tissue, change the shape of their bodies, have more energy, have a better metabolism, and ultimately show up better at work and at home. If this video was helpful, hit the thumbs up button to let me know, comment below your biggest takeaway, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.